We are recording in progress. We are now recording. Welcome to Psychics and Swears first edition of Ghost Stories.
Fucking A.
And I'm so happy that we got Sherry with us today. We got Royden and Joe and Francis. But the superstar of the day is our very own Peter Marks.
Peter Marks.
I don't feel like a superstar, but go ahead. Thank you.
So Peter has agreed to be the first person that we interview for this, and so Peter, there are some things that we would love to know. Like,
what?
Yeah, there's some stuff we'd love to know.
Oh, may I just say on behalf of Psychics and Swears, I'm very, very happy to finally talk to you and meet you, and I'm very happy you decided to be a part of this little program that we decided to put on. So thank you to everyone for showing up.
Well, you're quite welcome. How can I refuse when you offered me $1 million to come on?
Money talks and bullshit walks, bro.
Right?
Well, I'm honored to be part of not only the group tonight. I'm honored to be on, but we work in conjunction with all of us, work well in conjunction with one another. And I think we're all very special and very unique with our own backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you. So to get started, Peter, would you mind if I shared our backstory, yours and my backstory, how we met each other?
Not at all. Is the show long enough for that?
Oh, well, I'll make it the 2-second version.
The abridged.
Go for it. Go for it.
So, I mean, I know I've told you this, babe, but there's this guy, let's call him Jay, and he, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just making sure you didn't blow in your face.
I'm good. And so Jay knew both Peter and I. As a matter of fact, Jay saw both Peter and I and went to us, was a client of both of ours, really. And he kept telling Peter how great and awesome I am. And then he kept telling me how great and awesome Peter is. I'm like trying to it was weird. It's like this, trying to get us against each other.
Yeah, it's like if you were trying to pit two boxers against each other.
Yeah.
And tell, this dude down the way, you're good, but this dude's fucking out of sight.
But then he picked a fight with Peter. And I was like, but I like Peter. Because Peter and I started talking to each other. And
unlike boxing, which is a combat sport, mediumship is not, as far as I'm concerned.
So Peter and I ended up becoming friends, and Peter did a reading for me. He was spot on. I gotta tell you guys, Peter Marks was absolutely, this is why we're Psychics and Swears right there. He's absolutely spot on. On everything that he said. He said something about my health and about my back and about my hips and about my weight loss and how I was going to be working on that this year. I have been. I think he even talked about my grandmothers.
Yes. Yeah.
You just hit on everything. And I was like, I've got to do work with this guy. I remember saying that to myself, I've got to do work with this guy. So when Peter was like, hey, hi, Angela, I see you. When Peter was like, hey, do you want to do podcasts and stuff together? I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And then we ended up hooking up with Sherry, and then I met Elle and the whole gang. But Peter's the reason why I met everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we also have to thank Ellen for the connection to Sherry. And it was funny because when you were telling the story, I remember back then the person who remained nameless said to me, well, she's going to shoot you out of the water. She's more incredible than you are, and you're going to become so jealous of her abilities. And I said, all right, I'd love to work with somebody that has that capability. He said, I really don't know if I want to introduce you because you are so wrong and she's so on the mark. So after that introduction, I said, my God, I've got to meet this incredible psychic. Maybe we could end up working together. Yes.
You want to know something? Pierre and I have talked. Come to find out, we told the guy the same thing.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but you know something, there's a reason for everything, Holly. And if we didn't meet him, you and I and John wouldn't have met. So there's divine purpose for all of this.
I agree.
Interesting. So yeah, so Peter, if you don't mind, I have a couple of questions. I'm hoping you will answer them.
Hoping, or you're expecting it. Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I'm an interviewer at heart. I'm a journalist at heart, so I love to talk to people, especially in this field. So let's get down to brass tacks. When did you first realize that you had this gift?
I realized it when I was approximately 11 years of age. I grew up in a place called Rockland County, New York. And the night or the week that my grandmother passed, my grandmother came to me when I was in bed, and she woke me up. The night she passed, she came to me and she said, Peter, your purpose here is going to be working with people that are searching for answers, and you're going to become well known, and you are going to be doing psychic work. And the following day when I woke up, I went to my parents and I told my parents what my dreams were. And the first thing they said to me was, we're going to find you the best psychiatrist that money can buy.
I can relate with that.
So after the psychiatrist found out I wasn't suffering from a psychosis and I wasn't schizophrenic, I had been tested, then they started to believe that I had a gift. But it happened at 11 years of age, and 11 is a master number.
11 actually is a very sacred number. It's one of my lucky numbers. It comes up in my current all the time, so I definitely understand that. When you were younger, did you have any other experiences that would have led you to believe that you were in touch with these other entities or whatever, or spirits?
Well, there were times that I went into restaurants with my friends and my parents, and I would turn around at a young age and I would say to somebody, I'm very sorry, but I'm getting messages for you. Can I convey it? And people looked at me. Because I was young, they placated me and they said, all right, go ahead, tell us. And when I mentioned things about people that they knew or circumstances, they would look at me and they go, oh my God, this kid is weird. So, truthfully, John, in our world, it's easier for women to be accepted in this world of the supernatural. So yeah. It's becoming more acceptable for men to have this gift and to be a part of that world. And I think in a lot of ways, James Van Praagh, John Edwards, a lot of these men have brought to the forefront that women can have it, but men can also have this gift.
Well, now, what do you think about John Edwards? Because I've heard a lot of controversy about him, and I've heard, things about him, like having people fill out slips and put them in a box and whatever before doing a thing. Yes. What are your thoughts?
Well, let me say this to you. I don't come on. I don't besmirch anybody's character. What I do know is I have friends that share the same parody of the people that you mentioned. And even with Teresa Caputo, I don't think we are 100% accurate all the time. Who is?
Right.
Yeah.
I give these people, I respect them for their craft. And years ago, I'm going to share this with you. I don't even think anybody else in the group knows this. Years ago, I was working with a very famous channeler. And there's a man who's very famous. His name is James Randi. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I know very well. I know James Randi.
All right. Well, James Randi and I had a conversation years ago. And James Randi said to me, just so you know, I'm going to debunk you. I am going to discredit you. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I said to him, well, if I don't have the power and I'm not that famous, why would you even spend the time trying to discredit me? I never heard from him again.
Oh, wow.
So you didn't get that $1 million reward?
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. At the time, he had $1 million reward.
Wow.
I gave him information, and you know what my attitude is to the both of you. At this point in my life, I don't feel I have to prove myself to anybody.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
I'm comfortable enough with myself. And in all honesty, I think we are all amazing. We each have our own gifts. So we support one another. We care about one another, and we foster our gifts. And that's why we are working together. So there's always going to be a news crew that is willing to jump on a story.
Absolutely.
And to try to discredit. And I've been through it in the press, and I've been through it in the newspapers.
You went through it with the guy that we knew. He was something.
It's funny. I used to be that guy. That's the funny thing. I used to be a militant atheist. I mean, I was raised Catholic.
An atheist?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, and later on in my teen years, I was so disillusioned with Catholicism for personal reasons that if you want to believe that's your business, religion to me it's a deeply personal thing, and I don't like to shit on anyone's faith. But for me, I just became so disillusioned. But I think I ended up throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. And I was like, well, if that's bullshit, then it's all bullshit. And I'm reading Nietzsche and guys like that, and I'm just like, fuck, we're alone in the universe. We're just floating around in this dismal ball. And it took a really long time. It actually took one of the story I'm going to tell tonight. It took that moment in my life and I mean, I was in a really bad place, and it took that moment in my life to really, I pretended like it didn't happen and shit, and I had to come to terms with it. I was like, wow, there are things that are so beyond our control, and they're just so beyond our understanding that how dare I even have the hubris to think I can understand it right now. And it's been 7 years since that moment, and ever since then I've been on this crazy spiritual journey. That's a whole other ball of wax. I'm here to talk to you.
Were you an atheist or were you agnostic?
I was a straight up anti-theist. I was like, even if there is a God, I want nothing to do with him. I was that angry. I was a very angry young man. I think we can all agree. One thing we all have in common is we were the weird kids, and I think that's something that binds us together. But I didn't know where my tribe was. I felt so alone. I discovered punk rock at a young age and loved it because it was a place. I found the weird people. I found the real smart thinkers.
I have a question for you, Peter. I want to know, it's one thing to have the gift, and we all have some version of the gift, but I want to know what made you decide that this is your path, this is where you need to go, this is where you want to go.
Well, I think it was more, Holly. I think it was more of a calling. It was a calling because at the time I was cultivating my gift. I was actually I was a TV producer.
Oh, okay.
And I welcomed people on. I had a Death and Dying show, and I had people come on to the show, and they were interviewed by a famous rabbi. And when they came on to the program, I would be sitting there talking to them, and there would be a spirit sitting right next to both of us.
Wow.
So at that particular time, I was working with a Dr. Earl Roman, who's a leading thanatologist and a bereavement counselor. And after I finished producing the shows, I then realized that my calling was in the psychic realm.
Okay. That's amazing. I feel like it took me a lot longer than that to realize that this is something that I needed to do, you know?
Yes.
So I'm always interested in that kind of story from people. Like I always want to know
Me too.
like the why, like what brought you to it, you know? Like that's always something that fascinates me.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to say to you, years ago, I must have been in my late 20s, I heard about a woman on a radio show, and the woman's name was Yolanda Bart. I didn't know who she was. I had never heard of her before.
Okay.
And John, I think his name was John Gambling. He was a radio host. And I called up and I made an appointment with her. I went into New York City. She was at a hotel. I was introduced to her, and she gave me information that totally floored me. She told me about my parents' names, and then she gave me circumstances, and she said to me, "I see you in TV." And she said, "By the way, I also want you to know you're going to be doing psychic work one day. And you're going to be doing what I'm doing now, but it's going to be on a different level." And I actually said to her, "I think you're the nicest lady in the world, but I think you're smoking something."
I love that.
And, well, she wasn't smoking anything, but afterwards I came home and I thought about what she had to say. I put the tape away. And then years later, I started to use the gift, and unfortunately, she has passed. I still have contact with her. But what's really amazing to me today is we're living in very chaotic, confusing times.
Yeah.
And therapy for a lot of people doesn't seem to be providing the services. I mean, I'm not repudiating therapy, but people that call in today want quicker answers. And they want to know what their life path is and what their future, what lies in their future. And I think that's where we come in.
You know, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I just had somebody today who was asking about her son because her son needs help with all sorts of stuff. You know, he's getting in trouble in school and all that kind of thing. So I totally relate with all that you just said. And I feel like you're absolutely spot on. I wanted to ask you too, is there anything that's ever happened with you, like any spirit that showed up or, you know, something weird that's happened that just freaked you the fuck out? I gotta know.
Well, yes. I brought up the thing about the channeling.
Yeah.
Years ago, a lady that I had been dating for about 5 years, took me to see a friend of hers, and she said, "I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to get all worked up, but the woman that we're going to be meeting will be sitting in the lotus position, and she's going to meditate, and then a male is going to come into her body." Well, what would you think of if somebody told you that? Automatically, I thought of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possession. Yeah.
Yeah, possession. So she said to me, "Please don't freak out." Well, unfortunately, I couldn't live up to what her expectations were. And I sat and I witnessed this woman allow this soul to come into her body. And the proof of it was this woman was a very demure, very short woman. And the arms got bigger, the muscles got bigger, the legs got bigger. And
that would have freaked me out.
That came out was a male voice. And it turned out that she had been channeling a spirit by the name of Dharma. Well, from that, I said to him, "Are you a negative? Are you nefarious? Are you evil. Of course, if they're evil, they're not going to openly divulge that they are.
Yeah.
But Dharma actually brought me out of my shell. That really was a shock to me. And he said to me, "Would you introduce me to the world?" I said, "Absolutely." So I called a news conference with Channel 30 News in Connecticut, and we did a channeling, and Channel 30 News showed up.
Wow.
That was, to me, it was, I want to say, and I'll use one of my college words, I was in a state of consternation back then because of the fact that he did it on the air in front of millions of people. And ever since that time, I do believe that there are spirits that we can connect with.
I think that would have totally wigged me out too, for sure.
Yeah, to see someone like start transforming before your eyes. That's.
I mean, and I've seen some weird stuff.
Yeah, I've had some weird experiences with that.
It was weird, and in a half an hour, her body went back. It went back to being a small, little, demure woman. And I actually called people from the society in Connecticut to witness this. Now, I don't know if you and John, have you ever heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren?
Yes,
Of
actually,
course.
I've met Lorraine. She's amazing.
All right.
Oh, I was amazing.
I connected with Lorraine Warren,
Yeah.
and I said to her, "You're highly respected, and I know who you are, and I know who Ed is, and would you be willing to meet Dharma?" And she said, "Absolutely." She said, "If you want credibility, then I can give it to you." And
Yeah.
she actually met with us.
See, I met her at an event in at the zoo in Bridgeport.
Yes.
And she advised me because one of my relatives, who was very little at the time, was talking to all sorts of spirits, and she advised me on how to talk to this little one and close herself off to certain things. So this way she was only talking to family members and whatever until she could get control over everything, because, you know, Lorraine was afraid of having to do an exorcism on my little niece.
I'm sure on anybody.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
my niece was only like 2. So she was little. But I mean, that's so cool that you, what was the spirit's name?
Dharma, Dhartma.
Dharma. Why is that familiar to me?
Sounds familiar to me too. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was at the time she was channeling. Do you know who Milton Bradley is?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she was channeling for Milton Bradley, who owns Milton Bradley Company.
The toys, yeah.
And she was channeling for other people. And I was always there when this happened. And I felt that if these people who had credibility and they did have wealth, if they were seeking her divine guidance, then there had to be some type of validity to this. But I know I also met somebody, and I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Do you know, have you ever heard of Dr. Hans Holzer?
Is that ringing a bell now?
That sounds familiar to me.
All right, Dr. Hans Holzer was brought into the Amityville horror case.
Yes. Okay. That's why that's familiar to me.
And
Okay.
I did work with Dr. Hans Holzer. He allowed me 2 different times to experience an exorcism.
Whoa.
Huh.
Can you imagine being a fly on the wall for that?
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, did you do that because of the Amityville thing? Fly on the wall?
No, actually, but
You
it works.
cheeky fucker.
I didn't mean to like do that, but like that totally works. Yes. So tell me about that. What was that like?
Well,
Holy cow.
they had to, Dr. Hans Holzer and the team had to get special permission from the Vatican.
Wow.
From the Vatican to go to the and perform the exorcism. And it took a long time, but I would never, if anybody offered me today to witness an exorcism, I would outright say thank you, but no thank you.
Right. I feel like that would be a lot emotionally, mentally.
I want to work with light workers. I want to work with people that are in the light, that have the gift. I don't want to deal with poltergeists. I'm not equipped to. It's not my forte.
Right. Right. So what I'm hearing from you is that it's not something you're against. It's not that you don't believe in stuff like that. It's just that for you have different gifts and a different path. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So Peter, I was wondering. I know we were going to each maybe tell a story or two from something that we've witnessed. But then I was wondering, there are a couple of people on here tonight who maybe, if you're so drawn, would you do like a quick little 5-minute reading for them?
Okay, sure. Sure.
I just want you guys, like, there are people who are watching to have the Peter Marks experience. Like, I gotta tell you, I've been read by him, and it was a game changer for me. I took a lot from that. So,
well, thank you.
So I'd love to. I know John has a ghost story he wants to share. Mine is this big. I mean, I can't tell part of mine because, I was in a place I shouldn't have been. So
undisclosed location, USA.
Oh, okay.
That's a statute of limitations, or
it probably is, but I don't want to.
I have an illegal place one too, but I'll save that one for another time.
I guess we won't go there.
Yeah.
I was with a couple of friends and a guy that I was seeing at the time, and they all kind of know that I had the gift, and I wasn't doing this professionally at all. But they decided, my ex decided it would be a great idea for us to break into this place that used to be an asylum. And yes, genius idea. Go in unprotected. We were dumb. Okay, we were really, really dumb.
Did you surround yourself by the bright light? Did you take any precautionary measures?
I did, and I tried to, help everybody else out, but I didn't have any of my crystals because I didn't know what we were doing.
But you went back with me, Holly.
I know, but we were all protected. Kerrigan, we were protected. I was smart about that. But the first time... The first time is the time that it was like horrifying. And Kerrigan, you and I went to a different building. So the first time I had my old phone with me, and there's a whole drama story about what happened to that phone later, but we had videotaped, and we went up and we went through, and there were things walking through walls, and there was an old lady at the end of the hall, and I was getting a message from her to get out, and I was like, okay, guys, it's time to go. And the ex wanted to keep going, so he went down a little bit further than I did. And, I got about 3/4 down the hall, and I'm like, no, we're leaving. We're leaving right now. And audibly, nobody else could hear what was going on. I could hear a little bit of what was happening. And so I could hear, whispering, go, get out, that kind of thing. So we get down the hall, and we go down the stairs, and we get all the way out. And as soon as we get out the door, which, by the way, is an iron door, it's heavy.
It's very heavy.
It slammed shut. And so then we're like outside the building, we're looking at the video, and all of a sudden now they're hearing all the stuff that I was hearing. Like the cat out and move and like go and now they're all scared. I'm like, guys, this is what was going on in my head the whole time.
Okay.
Like, this is why I told you it's not smart to go in there to begin with. But then I did go back with Kerrigan because then we were interested in other buildings. So, yeah.
Well, did you realize that there may have been spirits that had passed on that maybe had been dealing with schizophrenia?
Yes.
Paranoid schizophrenia, being psychotic. Yeah, because that is not something I would have myself welcomed. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you're
like
more
I said,
daring than I am.
yeah, I kept myself, I kept us protected as well as I could.
Yeah.
And then the time that I went back.
But the video disappeared, right?
What's that?
The video that you took, didn't it disappear?
Yes. The video that I took disappeared, and then the video that you took disappeared.
Well, that's not unusual because spirits, souls can, what they call ectoplasm.
Yeah.
And spirits can manipulate. They can do whatever they learn to do when they are in the spiritual realm. So sure, videotapes can be erased.
Yeah.
That world
disappeared.
Objects
That
disappear.
world is so incredible. We don't know what our total abilities are until we are in that existence.
True story.
Yeah.
So you had to pick one, and then Peter's doing readings.
Okay. I have one, and then like one other one, kind of.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll keep it quick though.
Just because it's ghost stories, and we figure ghost stories.
Okay.
Psychics and swears and ghost stories, and then we've got guests on, and we, do a thing, and then read a bit at the end, and have a whole lot of fun with the people who have been sitting here listening to us babble on for the whole time. Hey, baby.
Okay, so I have a couple from when I was younger. I'll tell the Tyler Mill story because that one's quick. There's a place in Wallingford, in Wallingford, Connecticut, called Tyler's Mill, and it's a back lot. If you're familiar with the history of Wallingford, it has a long, studious history of racism and bigotry.
I used to work in Wallingford. Yeah.
Yeah. So the World Church of the Creator was founded there. The Christian identity, Nazi bullshit that's there. So the Klan used to have their rallies back there. That was the rumor, and the rumor was that there was a cult that lived in a big house back there. So we would go back there, and one time we would find creepy shit that it definitely looked like something like a cult was happening. And I was very young at the time. I was kind of ignorant to how things are. Like we found a plastic bag full of bones and hair, and it turned out it was a puppy, like a dog skeleton. And it just disintegrated. It didn't smell or nothing. It was just bones and hair left. So that was weird. We had a couple. The weird thing about Tyler's Mill is we would go in there in the summer, and as soon as you go in, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. You'd go, and it's so dense, no light can get in. It's like dark in there. At nighttime, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So we had a bunch of buddies. They used to ghost hunt, and they were desperately trying to find something supernatural. I mean, they would find anything in a picture and say it was an orb. I'm like, dude, that's dust. It's clearly dust because they're all over the place. And I was the debunker. I was that guy that would debunk shit because they were on the other end where they were militantly pro-ghost. Right. They wanted that evidence. So I went with them. It's about 10:30, 11:30 at night. And we're driving around, and we're out in the fields. We're bullshitting around. We have the tapes. We have video cameras. But we're not really getting anything. So one of my friends says, let's go by the cult house. And I'm like, ooh, yeah. And that's literally doing the exact same thing. I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's go check out the fucking cult.
So being a jerk.
In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, sure, there's a fucking cult back here. But no, dude, there's cults that are everywhere. It doesn't have to be a huge cult. More than 2 people, you got a cult. More than one, really. So anyway, we're driving by. Now my friend, who we'll call him E for this, he had this flashlight that was like 1,000,000 candle power. Like it was you could see it from space. It was ridiculous.
Crazy, yeah.
So bright. So we drive by this house and it's dark, and we had gone by it a long time back, and they had like black trash bags on the windows, so you couldn't see in. So I'm like, oh, a crazy person lives there, and they blacked it out for, because they're paranoid or whatever. That's what I'm thinking. So my buddy goes, hey, let's see if anyone's home. He busts it out and starts flashing it at the house. And we're like, are you out of your fucking mind? So I take the batteries out of it. I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm so mad at you right now. And I was pissed. I was like, you're like, punch in the fucking teeth. And he was just like, what? What did I do? So we're driving. We're trying to get out of there. Now, you get to this thing. It's a bridge. And allegedly some kid hung himself there. I've never confirmed or denied, never did any research. But it was always said some kid hung himself from the bridge. So we're like, yeah, every fucking bridge someone hangs himself from, right? So we're creeping out, and we're almost at the end of the place. We maybe got like another couple miles to go. Yeah. Because we're in the shit. We're way deep in there. And this fucking truck, it was like a 57 Chevy pickup, old truck. It comes out of nowhere. And I mean, we just left the cult house, so we're assuming it's some lunatic behind us. So we're like, go. And we're going really fast on dirt roads in the middle of nowhere. You crash, you're fucked. You got to walk your way out. It's scary. And this guy's on our ass. He's maybe 1.5 feet behind us, and he's keeping time with us. And it's like, he knows where we're going to turn, which way we're going to turn before we even do. We're not using signals or nothing. He's on us. And we're like, yo, I'm like, I told you were going to piss someone off. And I'm screaming at my friend, like, you fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. We're going to die because you're an asshole. And I just tearing them apart the whole time. I'm so scared. And I'm like 15 at this time, something like that.
Yeah. So
we get to this part where there's like a good 30 feet before you get to the main road, take a left and head back down Center Street. We get there, this guy's still on us. We turn left, and as soon as I look behind me, the truck's gone. It's gone.
That's weird.
And I'm trying to debunk this shit. I'm pulling rabbits out of my ass at this point. I'm going, maybe they hit the lights and rolled backwards. But then I'm like, no, that wouldn't even make sense. I would have seen them. There's a street light. Like, I would have seen that. And we're all like, what the fuck? So we pulled over.
Maybe,
So it's 10:30 on a Sunday in Blue Law fucking Wallingford. There's nothing. We're all underage.
I'm so sorry. I keep coughing.
It's okay, baby. I forgive you. So we.
John forgives you.
Yeah. So we pull over to like the next parking lot, which I think was a bank or something, and we get out and we're all just kind of sitting there and we're like, what just happened? What the fuck just happened? And they're like, dude, it was a fucking ghost truck. I'm like, yeah, okay, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it was a fucking ghost truck following us out. But now looking back at it, there was no way to even explain it. It was definitely something fucking paranormal.
Wow.
There's no way. Now, I always thought ghosts are one thing. I could kind of see how that would make sense, but a ghost truck or a ghost train or any of that shit seems so stupid to me.
Well,
I was...
Baby, you never know.
It sounds like a good script, Stephen King, or And by the way, I met him years ago, Stephen King.
Yeah.
I was. I believe it or not, I had dinner with him, and he came up with a plot with a killer truck. I don't know if it ever came out in the movie form, but yeah, he was telling me about Misery and about. Yeah. So
Well,
he has a short story about a killer truck, and then he's got
Christine.
Well, that's a long. He has a short story with a killer truck too.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's got a million of them.
He literally has a million books he's written. He's been writing for 6 years.
So how jealous am I that you got to have dinner with my favorite author?
It was quite an evening. I was at a restaurant in Fairfield, Connecticut, with friends of mine, and he walked in, and I turned around to the bartender. I said, I know celebrities want their privacy and respect. Is that Stephen King? And the bartender said, "Mr. King, I think somebody would like to meet you." So very graciously, he walked over, he shook my hands and one hand, and he said to me, "Can I ask what you do?" And I said, "I do psychic work." And he goes, ooh, psychic work. Maybe I should talk to you. I figured, you want to sit down and have a drink with me or dine? Well, we sat down, we got into a conversation. Believe it or not, a lot of his scripts came from, he has very bizarre nightmares.
Yeah.
He's a very macabre type of person. A man told me he suffered from depression, and I don't know if you know this, but most of the bones at one time in his body were broken.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get my car.
So
Okay.
he was, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, no, the killer
He
car.
was joking. He was saying the killer car.
Oh,
in
he
his
did,
story.
yeah, he did get hit by a car. That
Yeah.
kind of shit.
But he was telling me what happened with motorcycles, and he was so happy that night. He bought a dinner for everybody in the restaurant.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome. Let me ask you, so did he base Walken's character in the Dead Zone after you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised one bit, Peter.
What's that?
I said I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that was true.
Yeah, well, years ago, I used to think, why do I meet these people? What is it about my life that I come into contact with these people? And then a psychic said to me, "You created this reality.
Yep.
This is what you wanted, and you're bringing these people to you." And I believe that today. I believe that's
Makes
what
sense.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I
100%.
totally buy that.
Do I have time for one more story, or are we going to go?
No, we're gonna go. Save it for next time.
I'll say it for next time. Yeah, I
hear
have way better stories. Those are the short ones.
We
That
have.
was an interesting story, John. Very
Right?
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. At that time, I was way too young to comprehend what that was. It was later on
Yeah.
in life is when all this came around.
But I think that was a great segue because we had no idea that you've ever met Stephen King. So what a cool segue was that?
Yeah, it was.
It was like it was planned.
Yeah, it was like it was planned. But I'm curious also, did you become more spiritually enlightened when you met Holly, or were you already?
I was already on my way. I was already on my path. We actually ended up linking up because I've been practicing for quite a while now. But this is the thing. Even as a militant atheist, I was always interested in the occult. Even as a young kid, like I remember seeing certain images or sigils, and I've had people tell me they're like you're drawn to these things for a reason.
So
So I was always drawn to the occult, mysterious things. I read all of Crowley's stuff as a kid. So I've been down the road. It's just, I was like, yeah, that's all fun and games, but the grim reality is we're all going to die alone. That was my philosophy.
can I tell the story like what you always tell people?
Which one?
About okay, so I'm gonna tell it, and then if you
Why I became who I am?
No.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
how
it's a
this
personalized
happened.
story.
How this happened.
Go ahead.
So we were part of a same Facebook group. I saw that he, practices similar stuff to what I do. And I got a message, a higher message saying I needed to contact this guy and that we needed to talk. And he heard what I do, and immediately he was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, or
I wasn't that fucking standoffish.
No, you told me you were going to debunk me.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I don't remember saying.
And then,
Well, you have to be tested first by James Randi before anybody can debunk you.
yeah. so then he hops onto the thing that I was doing on Sundays, from 11 to 1 at the that now he's doing with me. And I gave him a reading, and I made him very emotional because I hit on a bunch of stuff, and we ended up becoming very close friends very quickly. And then soon after. Well, a couple months later, I guess.
Yeah, that's about right.
Ended up dating each other.
Did you know you were married in a past life?
Oh, we've heard. You're the third or fourth person who's told us that.
Okay.
We were told by a person just not too long ago that we have been married in several lives.
Yeah.
And that we keep searching each other out. So
seems to make sense. But now it's become a running joke in our, within our readings that we do together, and it's it's not a good reading until someone starts crying. That's like our slogan. It's like our motto.
Is that your objective, to get somebody to cry?
No, not our objective.
Not our objective, but people get emotional because you hit on things that are so personal and painful sometimes, or sometimes it's a joy.
Yeah.
It's very cathartic and beautiful,
Well, and Peter made me cry, so I know he knows the feeling.
Yeah, now you're part of the crying club, man. You made something.
Yes, it's a new club.
So I'm going to turn this to gallery view, and then if you would like Peter Marks, the psychic to the stars over here, to give you a reading, just give a wave and let us know. I see. Let's see. Anybody? Oh!
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and unmute.
Okay.
This is
Beautifuls.
Let's
She had her
see.
hand up first, so we'll go with her.
Let's see.
I'm going to say if she don't take it, I was going to take it.
Okay. Right?
No bullshit. I'm going to raise my hand.
What is beautiful? What is your date of birth, Liz?
My date of birth, September 6th.
Yeah. All right, September 6th. All right. And let me see, September 6th. And what year?
78.
1978.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you happen to know your time of birth?
No, I just know it was in the morning.
It was in the morning.
Yeah.
If I were to guess it, I would say about 6:45 in the morning.
About 6:45.
That's my guess, Peter. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the feeling I got.
I'm still born.
You're a psychic, so I think I'll have to go with that.
All right, works for me.
Find my birth certificate in a little bit.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Watch it be like 6:46, and I'm gonna get a call. You were wrong.
I know your game, girl.
Okay, let's see what we. All right, I'm going to call in your guides, and I'm also going to see what they tell me. Oh, God.
This is gonna be good.
Every time I get chills, wow. All right, for the first thing I want to say to you, I'm surprised you're quiet tonight, because you've got amazing dynamic energy. Are you using it? Because you're not normally quiet. You're normally dip, 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 dip. Dip, 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 dip. You're not quiet for anybody. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Keep on talking to me balance. You need a lot of balancing in your life. And if you don't get it, you make yourself crazy.
Holly,
You really make yourself crazy. What's that?
Holly said this when she read for me.
I did. I'm trying so hard not to give a reaction because I know you so well. So I'm like,
Yeah, let's let this roll.
All right, now, are you in a relationship right now because you crave a bond within a relationship, and yet I'm feeling that emotionally you kind of go up and down and up and down and up and down. You really, they're saying to me, you kind of take the reign in the relationship, and it's difficult for them to let you take the reign in the relationship. I want to ask you, are you going through any energy or emotional changes right now? Because you've had a major shift in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you not feeling quite stable as far as your direction or where you're going?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm definitely about to have a huge change in my life, changing careers, going into
Yeah, I
business.
see that happening.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, are you doing anything? You're supposed to be helping people. You're supposed to be in the health field, or you're supposed to be doing things that are, yeah, you're fighting this. You're fighting this.
Oh my God. That's so on point. That's so
So
true.
what's happening with you? Can I ask you that?
Well, no, it's funny because I've been being told for so many years that I should be in some type of field like doing social work or something like that. You see Holly's shaking her head. But I just never went that direction.
Well, let me explain this to you also. I feel you're very creative. I feel there's creativity here. They're showing me beauty, they're showing me art, they're showing me music. So what are you presently doing right now?
Uh, I'm not doing any art right now. Well, writing, but that's it.
All right,
I guess
because
art.
you're very dynamic, and you have the ability to govern people. You have the ability, you are a doer, and once you start doing something, you are a mover and a shaker. So I would say that you would probably do very well in sales, you would do very well in a corporation, but you have a duality. There's a duality going on, and you're not happy in that world anymore. You want to get out.
Yeah.
So,
Very true.
yeah, so do you know where I want to ask you this also. They're showing me health and nutrition around you. They're showing me health and nutrition. Are you doing anything with health and nutrition right now? Or are you thinking about it?
I just lost almost 30 pounds. I'm on a health journey.
All right.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm also feeling that you're very intuitive, but you fight it. You fight it and you fight it and you don't like it and you don't want to accept it. And you get, let me put it to you this way. You don't like to be challenged. When people say things to you that you don't like, you just kind of poo-poo it. You're in a good cycle right now. I want to tell you, you're in a very good cycle. I'm also being shown something, I don't know why. Are you interested in all, because they're showing me property. They're showing me something around property.
So I'm just about to hit 3 years in my new house, but the daycare that I just built, and that's the business I'm going into, is on this property.
Oh, it's on that property.
Yeah.
All right, because you're going to be buying on the property.
Wow.
You're going to be investing in the future in other property. Yeah, go ahead.
That would be good.
Yeah, I see that. The other thing I'm also going to say to you is you need to use your psychic ability, because you were born with very strong ability, and the guys are trying to get through to you, and you're fighting this tooth and nail.
Not for nothing. That is very familiar advice. I'm just going to put that out there.
I've been told this before, so I do believe it.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you this, because they're showing me, they're telling me almost like two different areas of business. You said you're going in, working with children?
Yeah.
All right. I also see you doing something else besides the children. You are going to be doing something in a partnership with buying, and they're showing me property here. they're also telling me, right, what are they saying here? I also want you to stop suppressing. They just said, stop suppressing yourself because you need to verbalize more. You need to come out of your shell. Now, I'm going to say something, I'm not going to go into it, and it could have been in a past life. Were you abused at all in this life? Because they're showing me abuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And have you resolved this in therapy?
Yeah.
All right. That was years ago?
Yeah.
All right. So you're over this and you realize that you didn't cause this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I also, they keep on showing me and they're saying to me living near the water. Are you doing that now?
Less than a mile.
Okay. What other questions do you have?
Oh, I actually don't have any.
All right. I want you to stop beating yourself up because you need to meditate. You need either meditation, yoga, or you need Reiki. You need, otherwise.
I do Reiki. I already do yoga, but I definitely need Reiki.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
is there a Ted around you? Is there a Ted or somebody by the name of Ted around you?
Well, passed already, yeah. My biological grandfather. I only met him once by accident.
And this was your biological grandfather?
Yeah.
All right. Is he passed?
Yeah.
All right. Because somebody by the name of Ted just said, tell her I'm very proud of her and I love her.
Oh,
Yeah.
Weird.
Is that surprising to you?
Very.
Why, you didn't get along with him?
I only met him once by accident. It was probably when I was in middle school. I met him by accident because I had met other members of my family.
Yes.
That was how I learned that my grandfather wasn't my biological grandfather. Was when I met Teddy by accident.
Yes.
Party.
But, well, he's watching over you right now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's watching over you. I also want to say you're going to do very well. You're going to do very well, but you've got to stick with something. If you don't stick with it, you're going to be all over the place.
that sounds like me.
True
Because
story.
you come up with great ideas, but you don't stick with it. You go into something else and you go into something else.
You sound like me yelling at myself.
Okay. All right. So you get the gist of what you're supposed to be doing. And they are showing me something around writing. They are talking to me about writing. But I also want to say, now, are you doing anything with Holly and John?
No.
Just friends, just chilling.
All right, because you're going to be doing, and this is going to sound far-fetched, you're also going to be doing readings in the future.
I could see it.
I could see it too. You're right though. I always I just deny it to myself.
Shannon, and I'm speaking for John, I haven't even asked him this yet. You can totally work with us. we'll help you out, and we have a whole network. Sherry's actually the queen of said network. She's the one who got it all together. So,
All right.
Yeah, just decide what you want to do and go with it, because you have the ability. You just need somebody to push you.
That's
you need a Sherry in your life. You need a Sherry in your life.
and if you need help learning how to use a tool, use cards or whatever, I can help you with that. But
I'm kidding. But also Holly and John can do that for you. But
if you need help with networking and everything else, literally, that's Sherry and her network, and absolutely amazing. She's absolutely super amazing. But
Yeah,
Sargon, did you have your hand up too for a reading?
she did.
Harrigan, okay.
I just, because I know we're kind of running low on time, and I want to be sure that
Yeah.
whoever wants a reading gets one. But Shannon, we'll connect, and we'll actually see you this weekend anyway.
What is your date of birth?
December 4, 1978.
December 4th of 1978?
2:44 a.m.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm going to get it right now.
And is there a specific question that you have for myself or the guides?
How am I doing? Where should I focus?
Where should you, all right, you said December 4th
Yes.
of 1978.
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you right now, are you in school right now, or are you thinking about going back to school?
No.
You're not thinking about going back to school? All right, because they're showing me education around you.
Well, I like to learn a lot, but I'm not at school.
I'm not at school, all right, because they're showing me books and you're reading and you learning, but that's out of
reading.
All right, that's out of, all right. All right, you're going through, believe it or not, right now, you're going through a major awakening. Do you know what I mean by an awakening?
I do, yes.
Your energy since December has completely changed.
Yeah.
There's been a shift here.
Yes.
And you've got to get used to that energy because your guides are trying to bring you up to a much higher level.
Kicking and
Okay.
screaming, yes. Kicking and screaming, but yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you this because they are talking to me. You don't like change.
No.
You fight it constantly. That's what
Yeah.
they're showing me. Okay.
Yes.
Now, can I ask what you're doing right now for work?
You're going to laugh. Change management.
Change, Matt, and you don't like change.
Personal change. Personal change.
Oh, personal change. All right.
Yeah, I do organizational change, but in my life, I don't like change.
All right. I'm going to ask you this. They keep on talking to me, and two guides are saying to me, coaching, 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 coaching. They're
Yeah.
saying coaching, motivating people, women and men, and to get them off their keisters. You're supposed to wake up people and you're supposed to challenge them. This is where you're supposed to be. I am also feeling at times you're very comfortable and other times you doubt yourself.
Yes.
All right. Are you willing to make this change? Are you willing to challenge yourself?
Yes.
You are, all right. Now, what are you doing to implement these changes that you want to do? Because I'll tell you from experience, you can sit around for hours and tell yourself what you want to do. If you don't have somebody there coaching you, and I talk from experience, and I'm going to share this with you. Before I joined this group, I knew I had the gift and I needed somebody to help me organize and get it together. When I joined it, and she's on here right now, Sherry has challenged me. I'm getting my life together. I'm getting organization together. I'm going in a positive direction.
Me too.
You need somebody to really get you started and to believe in you. Is that making sense to you?
Yes.
All right. Now,
There are a lot of changes and a big metamorphosis going on. So I'm trying to figure out which specifically one you're talking about.
all right, because they're showing me you talking to groups of people,
Yep.
and they're showing me you coming up with a curriculum.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
You've done that. All right. So, have you ever heard of motivational speaking?
Oh, yes.
Well, this is your year. This is your year to get your message out there. The only thing is, you've got to get accustomed to the energy that you're going through. And right now, it's making you a little uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
All right, so did you were you going through any depression at all, or slight depression?
Yes.
Are you going through that now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be fine. The only thing that bothers me a little that they're talking to me about, you've got to watch yourself. I'm a little concerned. I'm not panicked, but how are you feeling health-wise?
Not great.
All right. What is wrong with your diet? Because they don't like your diet.
It's awful.
It's awful?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. If you really want to achieve the goals that you are setting out, your body is fighting. It doesn't digest certain foods, certain foods, it does not digest well. And it puts you into a state of anxiety.
Yep.
It makes you depressed, and it makes you very sluggish.
Yeah, actually, I had too much dairy today, and so I'm not feeling great.
I can tell that. All
I-
right.
I'm amazed every time I see Peter do a reading. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm kind of flabbergasted. I gotta be honest.
Well, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt your flow,
Yeah,
Peter.
sorry,
I apologize.
Holy shit, that's incredible.
Well, she's got the ability to achieve the goals, but she's got to believe in what she's doing.
Yeah, no, Kerrigan's fucking great, but holy shit, I'm amazed by you, dude. I'm amazed at you, Peter.
At me?
Yeah, no, the guy behind you. Yeah.
All right, but I'm channeling. I don't take the credit for this.
Whatever you're doing, it's impressive.
That's spot on.
I'm getting fucking goosebumps over here listening to you just nail it. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm just telling you the truth.
I'm going to tell you something. Years ago, and I'll share this quickly. I knew who she was, but years ago, I was challenged to read for Elizabeth Taylor. I don't know if everybody knows who she is.
Of course.
I love Elizabeth Taylor,
I
yeah.
sat at a table with Elizabeth Taylor, and she said, honey, the only thing that's going to happen is if you're wrong, you're wrong. Don't get upset. Well, I told her she was going to end up marrying a younger man. At the time, she had just divorced another man. And she said, what do you mean I'm going to marry a younger man? I said, this guy's in construction. She said, Peter, thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you've done, whatever. I said, do you want to hear anything else? She said, no, darling, keep it to yourself. Later on, she married Larry Fitensky.
Yeah.
I want to say to you is this, your guides are around you right now. And the guides are saying to listen to Holly and to John, because they are going to bring you in the right direction. You don't have to be confused anymore. And the other thing they are saying to me, the first thing you have to do is change what you drink, what you put in your body. And when you change your diet and your regimen, you're going to feel absolutely amazing.
Do it. I'll do it with you.
I'm right there with you. I'm doing the exact same thing. I had to change my entire diet.
Game on.
So we're here to support you.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay. So I hope that helped.
It does. Thank you.
He is the smoothie king.
Oh, I got recipes all over your mind, man. Knock your socks off.
We're having like protein-filled smoothies every day.
Killing
Well,
it.
smoothies, certain smoothies are healthy. Yeah.
Oh, mine are the best.
They're all fresh fruit and yogurt.
Fruit.
Yeah.
All about that right now.
Yeah. So I really, what is it? You pronounce it Kerrigan? I actually see you on a lecture. You're giving something around lectures and speeches.
Yeah.
The only thing they're telling me is I'd hate to get into a fight with you because you don't lose.
That's so true.
I can see that.
Even if you're wrong, you're not going to admit you're wrong. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Well, to be fair, Kerrigan doesn't go into a fight unless she's 100% sure that she's right.
She's right. Okay. That's better. Do you
So you
sing
know-
at all? Do you sing?
A little bit. Yeah.
All right, because they're saying you do something with your voice. Do you enjoy singing?
I do.
And
Karaoke, things like
whatever
that.
happened with the singing?
I got older, my voice changed.
Oh, okay. So you need a voice coach. You need. Okay. Well, all right. Even if you're, but you know, they're saying. Did you ever want to act? Did you ever want to do anything on stage?
Yes,
Because they're saying to me, when you were younger, you wanted to be an actress.
absolutely.
All right. So what happened with that?
Lost my confidence.
All right, honey. All it takes in this life is confidence. You could have done anything you wanted to do, but you're holding yourself back.
Yep.
And you can get somebody that tells you how terrific you are, unless you feel it internally.
That's what I'm working on.
All right, how are you working on that?
Therapy.
All right, that's a good way. That's a very good way of working on it. Okay. I do want to tell you, in the future, I do see success around you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just so you know. No, I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. And
Well, like I said, Peter, you just blow me away.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like, I don't give accolades to people for this kind of stuff easily. I really don't. Hey, Mike, I see you waving.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy?
Mike, is that your way of saying please do a quick reading for me too?
You were on mute.
Oh, is that me? Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know I was muted.
Thank you. What a fabulous way to celebrate my birthday is by, launching this, seeing some wonderfully amazing, beautiful people on here.
Yeah.
Being supported once again by Sherry coming on. That's freaking amazing. She got the whole network together. Peter,
Wow.
absolutely blowing my mind. Like, this is... And he didn't decide what kind of cake to get me, so he got me 2 different kinds.
He got you 2 cakes?
That's funny.
Well, send over one here. I could use some cake. No, I'm kidding. I want to lose. I don't want to gain. Yeah.
No, us either, but I mean, like...
It's cheat day. It's her birthday. Fuck it. 2 cakes it is,
we,
wait a minute. Is this cake sent over from Nutrisystem or Weight Watchers? Or...
Sure!
Yeah, right. It's kale. It's a kale cake.
Well, it's carrot cake. The other one is strawberry shortcake.
Made of actual carrots, so you know it's good.
So it's got fruit and vegetables, to the good food groups.
All right. On behalf of Psychics and Swears, Peter, I want to thank you so much for coming on. You're a
Thank
blast.
you for having me.
And also, fuck James Randi.
No, thank you.
That is the best response ever. And we laughed just so loud that Chi-Chi's
My dog just went nuts.
The dog's hearing us cracking up, and he's like, ah!
He's just saying fuck James Randi and his dog.
That's it.
That's it. Right.
So in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing this again. I think it's Marion that's on 2 weeks from now. Same time, same bat channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel. You folks want to come on in? We're going to have fun. I'm going to tell more stupid stories about ghosts and goblins and all types of weird shit.
And actually, Marion is the one who does light language.
I would love to wait for that.
So cool to listen to. She actually sings in it. Maybe we can get her to sing.
I hope so.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be great.
Beautiful voice. And it's all channeling. And the way that she does it is channeling energy, and it's channeling a totally different language. We're totally different galaxy, I think.
We're gonna have to go live next week too, because we undershot it with an hour. That shit wasn't gonna happen. All right, folks. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Have a good night. Thank you
Wrap
for
it up,
having
Jeff.
us.
Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you all,
everyone,
folks.
so much for coming on. Love you all.
Love you all.
Take
Happy
care.
birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.
Happy birthday, baby.
All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Holly, don't leave yet.
Oh,
I take this to Clubhouse.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait. Take
What's
it
up?
off, okay.
How do I
Have
take
you
it?
applied for Clubhouse? Are you on Clubhouse yet?
I'm not. My phone is having problems with Clubhouse for some reason. So I'll have to figure that
Now
out.
accept Android, and you guys can. Yeah.
Are you on Android, Holly?
I'm on Android. I have to figure it out.
I've got Clubhouse as well, so I'm on Android. I can send you a link. And then
That'd be beautiful.
Sherry's on mine as well, and so's Roy and a few others. So I've been on it for a while, but I haven't done anything with it. So I've just started as well.
Thank you.
Listening to
Yeah,
Sherry.
we could
So
be doing this all day long.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're going. So one moderator leaves, and the next one can come in and keep the room.
Mhm.
That'd be amazing.
Cool. Cool.
Sherry, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Keep me informed.
Joan Francis, you're amazing too. Thank you guys so much. I know, Joan Francis, and you must be so sleepy right now. It's got to be, what, 3 in the morning?
It is 3:30 in the morning.
boy.
Woo!
Yeah.
I
My heart goes
stayed
out
up
to you, dear.
just for you.
Oh, my heart. Thank you.
The best.
Okay,
Best people
I'm
in the
going to bed now. Right.
Get some rest, please.
Sleep tight.
Sleep tight. Salutations now.
Bye for now. Bye.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Dude, what a
And Sherry, I'm going to look into Clubhouse because I've got to figure out how to make that happen. I've been wanting to do that.
yeah, thank you for all your help though, Sherry. Yeah. That's awesome. It's so great.
I need to have her on too.
Oh, I'm sure. I would like, you know what? I want to talk to you over Calzone about this, but this should definitely be, we should turn this into some kind of podcast.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
that's the idea.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
I think I would call this a successful one. Those readings were out of fucking control.
Right?
He didn't get anything wrong the whole time. I'm watching the reading. Even we shoot the shit sometimes and we fuck up, right? You know, like we'll say something dumb or it'll come way down the road.
But usually, though, we got a call like a week later.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
batting
guess
like
what?
800, 850 out of 1,000. He's batting fucking 200,000 out of 1,000. I'm sitting here, I'm like covering my face because I'm not trying to seem like I'm giving into astonishment.
Yeah,
And I'm just sitting here going, this guy's out of fucking control.
he's amazing.
I wanted to fucking read it. I wanted to read. I was like,
We can work out a time for him to come back and do a
fucking
reading
love to
for
be
you.
read by that guy. He's out of control, man.
All right, guys. Thank you again
Thank you so much,
very
guys.
much.
Thank you for the support. We love you.
Have a wonderful night.
Yep.
Bye, everyone. Sherry, I hope that you safely get to where you're going.
And don't forget
Hold
to
on,
shuffle to the field.
Sherry's trying to talk to us.
Oh, sorry.
Sherry, you gotta unmute.
I have landed. I have arrived at home. I'm safe.
Oh, good.
Get some
Now I
rest.
got my BJ's low to somehow to get this up the stairs is another story.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, be safe. All right.
They say
Thank you very much, Roy, for coming on too. I know he's just waking up. Like we have people from all over the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Love it. I love it, love it, love
bye,
it.
everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Oh,
Bye, it's
Oh, there's Roy's face. I see his hands in
I think I was looking at my own ugly mug, so I was taking the attention away from Peter.
Angry mug to another.
But no, it's midday over here, Holly, so you timed it just right.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, fucking A.
Time to write for him and terribly for Joan Francis.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
I don't know.
fucking A.
Bye, bye, yeah.
We got calzones.